Hi, APUSHers. It's Mr. Hofer and two of my favorite social studies students.
Hello.
And we are wrapping up our first day of COVID Academy at the Hof
Dog Academy.
Hof Dog Academy, COVID Academy, whatever. But we're wrapping up our first day, and I can't believe that the first and fourth grade teachers forgot social studies. I'm looking at my kids, I'm like, what to do about Aubrey? What is there to do about Alice? And their future understanding of the past. And then it dawned on me, you guys are studying the Progressive Era and Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, yeah.
They've never learned about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, I have. I've read this book a lot.
Well, okay, but bear with me.
We learned about him at school.
It's a perfect opportunity for all of us to learn a little bit about history of Teddy Roosevelt and also a lesser known figure in American history and women's history, his daughter, Alice. And so my Alice is going to read to you about his Alice. We're going to learn about this important president's family and the contributions of Alice Roosevelt to American history. So
Did you know there's a color Alice
sit back, turn up your volume, enjoy the show, and I'll follow up with you at the end.
If they turn up their volume, my voice will probably be blasting their ears. I'm loud enough! What to do about Alice? How Alice Roosevelt broke the rules, charmed the world, and drove her father, Teddy, crazy.
Let's see. Be sure you show us the pictures, okay?
Dad, how are you going to get the pictures?
Oh, hold on.
What to do about Alice? How Alice Roosevelt broke the rules, charmed the world, and drove her father, Teddy, crazy. Theodore Roosevelt had a small problem. Can you see the picture?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't herding thousands of cattle across the Dakota Badlands. He'd done that. It wasn't leading the Rough Riders as they charged up Kettle Hill. He'd done that too. He'd bagged a grizzly bear, captured outlaws, governed the state of New York, and served as vice president of the United States. And still, he had a problem. Her name was Alice Lee Roosevelt. Alice Lee Roosevelt was hungry to go places, meet people, do things. Father called it running riot. Alice called it eating up the world. From the time she was a little girl, Alice ate up the world. Her mother died in 1884, 2 days after Alice was born. Father was sad. Everyone was sad for Alice. But she didn't remember her mother. She did not want to grow up hearing them say, "Poor little thing." She wanted to see how high the springs sprang on her grandparents' favorite sofa. Father remarried and had more children. But every morning, Alice still cried, "Now, pig!" until Father gave her a piggyback ride downstairs to breakfast. The family moved between New York and Washington, D.C., following Father's jobs. Wherever they went, Alice ate up the world. She rode across Oyster Bay for picnics on the beach. She gambled through the parks of Washington. Gamble?
Yep. Yeah, that means like strolled.
Oh. Through the parks of Washington, pretending to be a fiery horse. She learned to love crusty French rolls and English tea served piping hot. She read voraciously and drank in Father's tales of Davy Crockett, George Armstrong Custer, and Daniel Boone. That guy has a raccoon on his head.
That's Daniel Boone. Or maybe Davy Crockett. They both got raccoons on their heads. That was a popular kind of westward expansion outfit.
Instead of going to school, Alice was taught at home, with lots of time for exploring. In New York City, she watched the students of Miss Spence's boarding school walk oh so primly down the sidewalk. That didn't look like much fun to Alice. She wanted to own a pet monkey and wear pants.
I like wearing pants. Can you imagine going to school in a dress every day?
As Alice got older, doctors noticed that her legs weren't growing properly. For the next several years, she'd have to wear braces. Sometimes, while she walked or ran, the braces would lock up, pitching Alice face first to the ground. She did not want anyone saying, "The poor little thing," about that either. When Alice's leg braces finally came off, Father encouraged her to ride a bicycle. He hoped it would help her feel less cautious. Alice loved her new freedom. She roamed the streets of Washington, from Capitol steps to the gypsy camps by the racetrack. She joined an all-boys club. The boys arrived in disguise until Father discovered the ruse. He grumbled Alice was unruly and inconsiderate. She was turning into a tomboy. Enough was enough. It was time for Alice to attend Miss Spence's boarding school and learn to be a proper young lady. Alice was appalled. The idea completely shriveled her. Every afternoon, all summer long, she made a point of going to her room to weep.
Now, if given the choice, would you be a tomboy or a proper young lady at Miss Spence's boarding school?
A tomboy.
How about you? Proper young lady or tomboy?
Neither.
Neither.
You can't choose that!
You can be whoever you want to be, right?
Wait, what? That wasn't an answer?
Oh, she's thinking outside the box.
What?
Yep, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you can relate to this. I think this is what you definitely would do.
Yes, this is me. Father couldn't bear to see Alice so unhappy. When school started in the fall, Alice stayed home after all. She came up with her own solution for her education. She said to Father, "Let me loose in your library." She taught herself astronomy, geology, even Greek grammar. She read Twain, Dickens, Darwin, and the Bible cover to cover. Every morning she told Father what she learned the day before.
How about that? Homeschooling, right? Yeah.
Homeschooling.
Right now.
She also grew even more curious about politics as Father's career soared higher and higher. The discussions around the breakfast table, the stream of people seeking Father's advice, and the excitement of election night. In 1901, when Alice was 17, Father became President of the United States. The whole family moved into the White House. Alice tried to be helpful. She watched her younger brothers and sisters so her stepmother could get some rest. When her pet snake With her pet snake, Emily Spinach, which Alice had named after its color and resemblance to a very thin aunt, she welcomed Father's visitors. He sputtered to a friend, "I can be President of the United States or I can control Alice. I can not possibly do both."
Can you imagine a girl owning a snake?
I own a snake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What's your name again?
Alice.
Oh.
As daughter of the president, Alice assumed her role as goodwill ambassador. She helped open the Buffalo Exposition, riding a camel and watching the hoochie coochie dancers.
Hoochie coochie, hoochie coochie. Belly dancers.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, yeah.
She christens the Kaiser's yacht with great fanfare and a large bottle of champagne. She visited plantations in Cuba and schools in Puerto Rico. All on her best official behavior. Father delightedly wrote to her, "You're a real service down there because you made those people feel like you liked them and took an interest in them." I don't know where this southern accent came from. And your presence was accepted as a great compliment. He warned Alice time and again, however, not to let newspaper reporters catch her gallivanting around. He reminded her that nice people did not want to see their names in the paper. "Beware of publicity," Father said. "Do not talk to reporters."
There you go. He would have had a proper, a New England kind of, New Yorker kind of Old English accent. We'll work on that.
Don't talk to reporters.
No.
Oh, Alice. Miss Roosevelt missed from poo.
Pew. Church pew.
Did not attend church yesterday. Miss Roosevelt active despite bad weather. Oh no! Society gossip from Washington. Miss Roosevelt saves a dull season. Casino managers say she rescued dancers from languishing to death. Miss Roosevelt, center of gaiety.
Yeah.
President daughter photo. Okay. Oh,
Has her
Alice.
photo taken, yeah. This is called yellow journalism.
Oh. Everyone loved Alice. Of course they would. A songwriter, Alice, where art thou? And bands everywhere played it. Mothers named their baby girls Alice. They smart there. Alice even had a color named after her. Alice Blue. That is true. They matched the color of her blue-gray eyes. They called her Princess Alice. Hey, that's what my Xbox account name is. Other young ladies rode in carriages. Alice drove her runabout fast. She two-stepped till the wee hours of the morning. Oh, no. And she was even caught betting on a horse race. What scandalous behavior.
Right. Did you know that when she was alive, driving would have been only a male activity, that only boys were really allowed to drive?
Such scandalous activity.
I know.
Letters poured into father from conservative women's groups. Alice's behavior was outrageous, they said.
She should be home cooking and cleaning, right?
No.
Okay.
In 1905, father began his second term as president, and he was being sworn in. Alice waved madly to her friends until father finally told her to sit down, son. You're making a show of yourself, he grumbled. Well, you do it too, Alice protested. Why shouldn't I? But this is my inauguration, father replied. He got right back to work, brokering a peace treaty between Russia and Japan. Meanwhile, Alice asked if she might join the American delegation heading to Asia. The papers trumpeted the news. I'm thinking this is what his voice... I'm sorry.
There you go.
This is what his voice sounded like.
Pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Alice
He's not
boarded
complaining.
the ship to San Francisco with 2 large hat boxes, 4 trunks, and oodles of boxes and bags. Wait, I'm just going to see if I can get his voice right. But this is my inauguration.
Okay. We'll practice.
Extra! Alice in Wonderland! How first maiden of land will travel to Orient. To cross Pacific in floating palace, will have her own suite of rooms aboard. What she will see in the wonderlands across the Pacific tropical romance anticipated. Huh? Okay. I thought that said murderous time. Alice had a murderous time. No, Alice had a marvelous time. She danced the hula in Hawaii. She jumped fully clothed into a ship's swimming pool. She watched sumo wrestling in Japan, reviewed the troops in the Philippines, and toured the gardens of the Empress of China, receiving many gifts along the way. I one time jumped into a pool fully dressed in Florida.
I see a lot of similarities. Unfortunately, your dad's not the president.
Yeah, sadly. After 4 months, Alice returned... 4 months? Wow, you'd think that'd been more months. After 4 months, Alice returned with 2 large hat boxes, 4 trunks, oodles of boxes and bags, and 23 cases of loot. Father was not amused. Gifts for Miss Roosevelt, gifts for Miss Roosevelt, gifts for Miss Roosevelt, gifts for Miss Roosevelt, gifts for Miss Roosevelt. These are all gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that was like it at my birthday party.
Goodbye!
No, not yet. Alice brought home a fiancé, Nicholas Longworth, a debonair congressman who had been on the trip. And what did she want for wedding presents? Trinkets, said Alice. Preferably diamond trinkets. Yep, that sounds like me. From all over the world, friends, dignitaries, and total strangers sent her gifts: jewelry, fur coats, silver vases, cakes, clocks, furniture. Clocks. People wanted clocks? Furniture, sewing machines. What? Washing machines, popcorn, bales of hay, a load of coal, a box of snakes, a pair of turtle doves, and a Boston Terrier with its own wardrobe of dog clothes. She even got a pet monkey. She'll accept anything, friends said, except a red-hot stove. I don't get it.
She'll take anything except something that would, like, burn her hands. She got a lot of gifts, right?
Yes, I can tell.
She loved getting gifts. She took full advantage of being so popular, right?
Yeah.
She'll take anything except a red-hot stove.
The White House wedding was the social event of the season. 800 guests watched Father walk Alice down the aisle. Alice jumped into her new role as wife of a congressman, hurrying home from Congress for quick meals of scrambled eggs before rushing back to hear the debates. But she was still the daughter of the president. As her love and knowledge of politics grew, she quickly became one of Father's most trusted advisors and ardent champions. Remember your place, Jafar.
Okay.
And she still ate up the world, dancing the turkey trot at diplomatic balls and playing poker with the boys. She even created the Night Raiders, who
Keep reading.
galloped to the houses of friends and bellowed until invited in for snacks.
I can see you doing that. Give me snacks!
Especially if
Yep.
it's beef jerky, she'll come in.
Give me snacks! And Father, even after he left the presidency, he remained one of the country's most popular politicians, leading Americans in times of hardship and prosperity. But there was one problem that Theodore Roosevelt never quite solved: what to do about Alice.
Daddy, I need to get some energy out.
Oh, who liked that social studies lesson? Right. Well, there's one thing that I'm still not clear about, too.
Huh.
What to do about Alice.
Ha ha.